Okay, GROW, it's a charitable organisation. It's based around mutual support. What GROW is based in Ireland, we have approximately 110 to 130 groups operating nationally. The groups meet each week. They follow a particular group method and they follow a 12-step programme. And the programme and the group method is all with the design to aid people in recovery. Recovery in the sense of getting control of their thoughts, getting control of their emotions and getting control of their actions and building up a resilience. The people meet once a week, different locations. There's a group based in Dundalk, there's a group based in Drogheda, and there's other ones. We have a website for anyone that wants the information. You follow the programme, and basically the programme is designed that everybody participates. So that one person takes over the programme and no one specific issue in regard to mental health, whether it be anxiety, depression or whatever, is the topic. It may be the topic that week, but it might not necessarily be the topic every week. Each person contributes, each person is given a task, and then they come back the next week and they report on that specific task. But it's based upon the people attending the group helping the other people within that group. Well, GROW, there's a number of different strands to GROW. Obviously, we have there's a number of people who are actually employed by GROW. We have field workers to support the groups that I spoke of. We have to organise the community education programs, the orientations, etc. So within that, we have field workers who actually go out and do the business on the ground. And then I'm kind of over two regions. I'm over the northern half of the country essentially, and my role is to support the field workers on the ground, and then try and make contact with the other various organisations, try and support GROW in the best way that we can. And obviously you'd be involved in a lot of fundraising, you'd be involved in a lot of management issues. And the HSE, we have to say thanks to them, because they do provide a huge amount of funding towards us. We liaise with them and look for further funding to be able to provide further groups, to be able to provide further education programs. So it's a fancy title that I have. Is called a regional manager, but in actual fact it's more hands-on than you might think. What GROW provides is it's a free access. Basically, like I said, there's 110 to 130 programs operating nationally. They meet once a week at the various centres. They follow a particular program. It's a 12-step program. Everybody participates in it. Everybody is given an action depending on their capacity, and you build up resilience. That's basically what you do. Further to that, GROW provides community education programs, like the one that we ran recently here in Dundalk. Basically, they're usually over 4 to 5 weeks, and there's a different topic covered on each night. Some nights might cover CBT, some nights might cover suicide awareness. Stigma is the big thing in relation to it, and then some of the nights then might cover then the actual GROW program itself. On top of that, then we have young adult programs operating, and we're trying to develop those. We have workplace programs. We have orientations then within the hospitals to make people aware of the program that's available out there and where the groups might be. So there's a helpline. There's not a helpline, it's an information line basically in relation to where our groups meet, etc., etc. And there's a website then with links to it in relation to all the other services that might be out there. We're also part of Mental Health Ireland, and we do our best to try and promote the mental health issues and lobby in relation to those issues at a national level, involved of course with other groups. I suppose it works differently. When people talk about recovery, that's the buzzword. But recovery, people think about getting better. But recovery is about recovering the control over you yourself, over your thought process, over your emotions, and over your behaviour. So recovery doesn't mean it's a process. There's no end step. It's not like taking medication for a physical illness where you expect to recover. Recovery is a process, and it's a process that doesn't have a defined end date, it doesn't have a defined end time, it's different for each individual. And that makes sense when you think about it, because every individual is different. Every individual might be suffering from a different complaint. And no person that's suffering from the same diagnosis actually affects them in the same way. But again, GROW isn't into that minutiae in relation to that. The 12-step program, it's broadly based in relation to the AA. There's a lot of similarities. I suppose the first step in it is admission, and to admit that you have a problem. And that's the biggest problem, I think, with everybody is, if you realise you have a problem, then there are lots of services and there's lots of support and lots of help out there. And then the last step in that is that you would spread that kind of word, that you would assist other people who have similar problems. And then there's various bits and pieces then in between in relation to the 12-step program. All the steps are there on the website for anyone that's interested in relation to that. The groups are held weekly. They're supported by a field worker. Initially, if a group is new, some groups are new, they're supported on a weekly basis by a field worker. But because it's a mutual support, and because you're trying to develop a person's ability within the group, after a number of months and when the group is up and running, different people are encouraged to take different roles within the group. So it could be the organising of the group, which is simply the room or whatever else. It may be recording some of the details in relation to the group, or it may be leading the group. So there's different roles for different people within the group, depending on your capacity and depending on your development within the actual programme itself. Nobody's put under any additional pressure, but it is to encourage people to improve. And to, like I said, recovery is the big. It's about gaining control and about improving within the group, and then further afield and improving within the community itself. Well, I'm not sure that anxiety has become one of the top issues, because what I believe is that mental health has become a huge issue. If you go by the World Health Organization, by 2020 it's going to rank second to heart disease. If you look at the stats that's coming up, and if we can accept them, and I do, 1 in 4 people are directly affected by mental health issues. Now, that might be themselves, it might be an immediate family member, it might be a close relative or friend. But 1 in 4, 1 in 3 people who attend a doctor, there is a mental health aspect associated with their illness. So when you say, why has anxiety come up to the top? I'm not sure that anxiety, I think mental health in general has come to the top, and I think that you have to look at it from that perspective. I appreciate that people with anxiety, they focus on anxiety, but there are others then with depression. There are others with other specific classifications of illness. But essentially, anxiety, depression, and a lot of the other illnesses, it goes back to regaining recovery. And that's again about recovering your control over your thought process, over your emotions, over your behaviour. And once you recover, once you're in a position to recover that, then you can start work. So I don't see anxiety as being at the top of the mental health or the mental illness issue. I see mental health coming to the top and being such an issue for everybody these days.